Hi, Melissa.
Hi, it is so wonderful to meet you. Thank you so much for having me.
Well, thank you for doing this. Are you excited to see your brain?
I'm excited. I'm a little nervous just at what you're going to find, but hopefully we can figure out some of what's been going on with my concussion symptoms and why I'm not feeling so great these days.
Yeah. Well, whatever we see is good news.
It is.
Right? Because you have what you have, and then I'll show you how we can make it better.
Yeah, now
Come
at least
with
we
me.
can see.
Yeah. What's your goal? And what would make this really important for you?
So I suffered a concussion in December 2018. It's been 3.5 years. And though I've done a lot of physical therapy and have been able to get a handle around the bulk of my symptoms, and a lot of my life I'm able to live symptom-free, concussion symptoms still come up on a really regular basis. It's triggered by heat, it's triggered by travel, it's triggered by stress, big events, lots of occasions if I have to be on, like I'm doing media. It feels like if I'm ill, it feels like at any moment they could rear their ugly head and put me out of commission for anywhere from a day or two to a week or 2 weeks. And it's starting to feel a little disheartening. I'm starting to wonder if I'm ever gonna feel like myself again. It's changed my personality to some degree, my ability to, I feel like, connect with other people, my desire to connect with other people. I've experienced more depression since I've had my concussion than I ever have before in my life. And I'm doing everything I can. My diet is incredibly healthy. I'm sleeping 8 hours a night. I'm exercising in a smart way and paying attention to recovery. I'm in therapy. I'm taking cold showers. You name it. If I can do it on my own, I'm doing it. And it's still not quite been enough. So I'm hoping that we can find some answers here, that I can get maybe a little confirmation that what I'm experiencing is real, and here's where I'm seeing it in your brain, and some ideas for how I can continue to make it better.
See about some of the substance stuff you had earlier in life?
Yeah.
And then the concussion.
Yes.
Walk me through the concussion. What happened?
Yeah, it was an accident playing with my son. We were playing laser tag in this fun center, and the lights were going and the music was on, and I don't know exactly what happened, but I was either struck or ran into a concrete pole, and it was right behind my left ear. Something really hard hit me, and I dropped to the ground. I don't recall losing consciousness, but that idea of seeing stars became very real, and I was pretty out of it for a minute or two, and then I was like, okay, popped back up, finished our day, went home with a really bad headache. And it was only the next day when I said to my husband, I was working on my laptop, and I said, I am really struggling to read what's on my laptop. And he's like, I think you might have a concussion. And I had no experience whatsoever. I thought concussions only happened to football players and race car drivers, and you had to be knocked unconscious. And so I saw a physical therapist, and he was like, yeah, obviously you've got these signs and symptoms, but I didn't seek treatment right away. I thought I could just sort of wait it out and rest. And it just continued. My symptoms continued to get worse and worse.
And it's one of the common myths is you have to lose consciousness in order to have a bad brain injury.
Yeah.
And it's just not true.
Yeah.
Tell me about the addiction stuff in the past.
I started using drugs when I was 18, about a freshman in college, maybe senior in high school, freshman in college, and it progressed pretty quickly. I didn't have a drug of choice. I just was kind of known for doing anything. I did a lot of ecstasy. I really liked heroin. I did a lot of hallucinogens. I smoked a lot of pot. I drug sought with all my psychiatrists, so whatever, prescription they would put me on would typically just go up my nose. And I did that for about 5 years.
Why do you think?
Well, I had trauma. It was 100% related to my trauma. At 16, I was sexually abused by someone in my family. Before that, my life was very vanilla, right? I was a good kid. I was really smart. I was in AP classes. I didn't cause any trouble. I had some friends. I liked reading books. And then after that, it was very night and day. I completely withdrew. I didn't tell anyone for a while. When I did tell my family, they didn't handle it well. I felt very kind of abandoned and isolated, and I was desperate to find a way to remove me from the experience. So I tried drinking alcohol, didn't work. Didn't like it, didn't stick, wasn't gonna do it. I tried restricting my eating, that definitely didn't work. I tried dating guys who were jerks, that didn't work. And it wasn't until I tried drugs for the first time that I was like, oh, this is it. this is what I want. This will take me away as far as I could possibly want to go. And I was off after that. I had no exposure to drugs before that. My family didn't use or drink. Like it was really out of left field for people in my family. But for me, it was just this constant progression of wanting to like not be in my own body and head after this trauma.
And can you talk about the trauma?
Yeah, it was my first sexual experience. So my therapist likes to use the word imprint. It left like a pretty strong imprint on me. It was someone I was 16. He was 10 years older than me. He was someone I trusted and really loved. He was kind of a favorite. And it happened over the course of a weekend when I was staying with him while my parents were out of town. So it was very manipulative. It was very coercive. It taught me a lot of really messed up things about my worth and my value and sex and love and like all of this stuff that I had to unpack over years of therapy. But yeah, it did a number on me for sure.
So we did a study called SPECT, and SPECT looks at blood flow and activity. It looks at how your brain works.
Okay.
And it basically shows us three things. Good activity, you have a lot. Too little, some that's really important. And too much, again, some that's really important.
Okay.
Here is your scan.
Okay.
And you hurt both your temporal lobes. It's really clear.
Wow.
And so what happens if you got hit in the left back of your head, your brain's in a closed space.
Yeah,
so it
just
slams
slices.
up against the right side.
Yeah.
And you can see this dent here.
Yeah.
So your memory scores are great, but they're probably not as good as they were before the concussion.
Sure.
And that can really frustrate you.
Sure.
When I see these temporal lobe things, it can go with mood instability, irritability, and sometimes dark thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
Do you ever have dark thoughts?
Never dark thoughts, but irritability's been off the charts lately.
And who gets the brunt of that?
Usually, husband. I can find a well of patience for my child, but it's usually husband or dog or I don't know, work, colleagues at work who I don't like being interrupted. I do not like it. If I'm doing a task or I'm in a groove, I really don't like getting pulled away. And so whoever pulls me away, that's who gets the brunt of the irritability.
And was that true before the concussion?
It was to some degree. I think I'm just a little less better at managing it now, I would say. Yeah. There's some things really gratifying about seeing the damage on my brain. I think when you have a chronic illness, an invisible illness for so long, I start to doubt myself a little bit. Am I making more of this than I should? Should I just be able to power my way out of it? Or I worry that other people might think I'm faking my symptoms because I look fine and I can perform for the most part pretty well. So it's almost affirming to see everything you've been experiencing, I can see it in your brain.
And it's causing the problem. When I first started doing scans, we've done 200,000 of them at this point. And if you go, hey, Daniel, what's the single most important thing you've learned from 200,000 scans?
Yeah.
Mild traumatic brain injury ruins people's lives. And nobody knows because they don't look.
Yeah.
And if you don't look, how would you know?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the NFL could have been in denial for decades.
Yeah.
Because they never sponsored a brain imaging study. And as soon as we did our first NFL study, we went, stop lying. There's big damage here. So if we look at the active scan, so again, blue is average activity, red and white are the most active parts of the brain. Do you see how your cerebellum's asymmetrical?
Yeah.
How it's got white over here, but not over here.
Sure.
I often see that in concussions.
Oh.
There's a dynamic tension between your frontal lobes and temporal lobes in your cerebellum. They help balance each other out.
Okay.
What exercise do you do?
A lot. I hike a lot. I walk a lot. Right now I'm doing some Pilates, but historically I've done a lot of weightlifting. I don't do any high intensity CrossFit style stuff anymore. Haven't done that in a while. Yeah, I mean, weightlifting, yoga.
You play racket sports?
No.
Did you ever play racket
Never
sports?
played racket sports, no.
Actually be a good thing.
Really?
Yeah. Table tennis.
My husband will love that.
It's the best brain game.
Really?
Because you got to get your eyes, hands, and feet
Yeah.
all working together while you think about the spin on the ball.
Yeah.
It's like aerobic chess.
Sure.
And it'll activate your cerebellum, which will then activate your frontal and temporal lobes.
Cool.
Well, what's interesting, when this area is so busy, it also goes with people who can't stop working.
Oh, I would not say that about me either, though, honestly.
Really?
No,
But
I've done a lot of work on that. A lot of work on that. I like to say I'm a recovering perfectionist. I feel like I have very good balance now. But my tendency would be just to kind of keep pushing through.
Do you always have the next thing in your head or not so much?
No, I'm really good at when my work day is done, I can be done. If I know I need time off or downtime, I absolutely can take it. I'm pretty good at that now.
So you said you were left-handed,
Yeah.
right? So when the opposite side basal ganglia is busy, it can sometimes go with that perfectionism.
Mhm.
And if somebody interrupts you, for you to have trouble, let go.
Yeah.
Go away.
Yeah, that's true. That's a very true experience.
Do you take omega-3s?
No.
Why?
I took fish oil for a long time. Maybe when I first started Whole30, I knew it was super important, but I don't know. I'm not a big supplement person. I forget to take it. And the stuff that I was taking tasted really bad. So I just kind of let it go. And I knew when I got my concussion, people were saying, you got to start taking your omega-3s. And it was just not something I ever stuck with consistently.
Okay.
If you tell me to, I will. I'm an upholder. Whatever you tell me to do, I will do. But it's not something I'm doing now.
Yeah, I'll tell you.
Okay.
There's 2 supplements.
Okay.
One's a system. It's actually my NFL system. Really good multiple vitamin, high dose, high quality fish oil, no fish burps.
Okay.
And a brain boost that works in 6 different ways. I put my NFL players on this, scan them again 2 months later, 80% of them were better.
Wow.
Better memory, motivation, mood, and sleep.
Great.
So it's 2 packets a day.
Okay.
And then saffron
Okay.
to help your mood.
Okay.
There are 24 randomized controlled trials showing saffron is equally effective to Prozac, Paxil, Effexor,
Saffron, like the
Wellbutrin.
spice?
I'm sorry?
Like the spice?
The spice.
Saffron? Huh. Okay.
Now it's in a special supplement concoction
course,
with
yeah.
zinc and curcumin.
Okay.
Because zinc all by itself has been shown to be an antidepressant. Curcumins all by itself has been shown to be an antidepressant.
Okay.
So if you look at your brain, your brain is really pretty
I'm in
good,
pretty good shape, yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
But it can be better.
Yeah.
And so if you came back 6 months from now, you did the hyperbaric, you're on the supplements, odds are it's going to be better.
Okay.
3 years from now, odds are it's going to be normal.
Yeah.
We just have to this is the plan.
Yeah.
I'm never going to hurt my brain.
Yeah. Okay.